Since reviving this show, it may seem like it has become niche. I'm doing horrible martial arts films nearly every single time. But I promise that is not intentional, as I do not go around looking for material. If I stumble across something worthy, then I give it the Bordel treatment. Because if I were to go around looking for stuff, it's way too much work for very little guaranteed payoff. But as of late, I've been stumbling across horrible chop-sucking martial arts films nearly every single time. A trend which continues today was a film that intentionally hits every single cliche possible. I present Last Kumite. In the filmmaker's own words, a film by fans, for fans. And it certainly shows. But when super fans are trying to take over the reins of their beloved franchises, they revert to 12-year-olds when it comes to their judgment. It happened to Cobra Kai. It happened here as well. Quest Media, producing the Last Kumite. Quest, eh? Coincidence? I think not. Clearly 80s throwback logo. You do know nostalgia is technically a mental illness, right? It's classified as a delusion that the days of old were better than they actually were. Our first shot of the film is completely unfocused. A perfect encapsulation of everything we are in for. And with that, the incompetent imitation is underway. A montage straight out of Bloodsport. Except the Bloodsport montage at a point, bringing us into the world of the film. While this bunch of shots of NYC mean nothing. The fact we're in New York doesn't mean shit. I'm actually certain not a single scene was actually filmed there. Oh, I get it now. The director wanted to suck some pig dick. They're trying to wedge in as many shots of those cops as they can. And what does this accomplish? Absolutely nothing. Now we cut away like it never happened, rendering this entirely pointless, which it was.
I can't do it, Dad. I just can't.
You're right. You cannot act.
You can't force it. Relax.
That may seem like sound advice for martial arts, and for acting as well, but that's as deep as the wisdom in this film ever goes. You shall see.
Martial arts should be about peace and balance.
Yes! That's why it was invented, for the express purpose of killing people. Spare some Miyagi shit. My, what extremely loud wind! The sound editor should be fired.
That's enough for today.
That's enough for the film. Can we skip those credits? Now we take a trip to a cemetery that is fake. Not only is that tagline cheesy as hell, real gravestones have a specific date of births and deaths, not merely years. By the way, finding some American flags is not fooling us with the fact this was obviously filmed in Germany.
Okay, we're not there. Still there.
I'm the last person who should be taking issue with anyone's dialect, but you've cast someone who can actually speak English coherently. I can't make out a single word he's saying.
You're my secret weapon.
A corpse is your secret weapon? What are you going to do? Necromancy? Mon Dieu, no! Not a shot at an ugly asshole doing something of absolutely no importance. There's no reason for that to be there at all. This is martial arts kid again. Again! Wow, this image quality just went down the toilet. Was that shooting it on someone's phone? On that note, I should mention that the director of this film was actually commended by Isaac Florentine, a well-respected director in his own right, as being an amazing director of photography and camera operator. We have just seen Isaac proven dead wrong. The disgusting overabundance of American flags to deceive us into believing this is taking place in New York is disgusting, to use a redundant phrase. It doesn't matter where this is taking place. It is an irrelevant detail. And before you ask, this is not the director trying to show off his patriotism. He's Australian. Oh no, not him! This is not only martial arts kid again, it's black belt again! You just stood up. What was the point of that? Michael Rivers versus Reggie Jordan, with their names in quotes. Should we assume they were too embarrassed to use their real names? I would not blame them. Yes, he clearly needed you to say that. It's Miguel Kisi, Tongpo himself, not doing much. What a waste.
Can you go out, please? Let's go.
Relax, Dad. You've already won.
The only way he can win is if he quits the film. Now they're in a high-end nightclub where his daughter would not be allowed.
Congratulations. What an incredible tournament. Invigorating. Thank you, sir. Run home. Mr. Hall. Yeah, come around. Right, yeah. So, have a good rest of your evening.
We're supposed to believe this is a New York City nightclub with 3 very obvious German people in it.
I can get you in the tournament with the best fighters in the world. I mean, not talking about these stupid, childish rules here. I'm talking about a real-life Kumite in Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe? What a proposition! And how convenient. They could get there in less than a day.
$1 million.
What?
I must agree with his reaction. $1 million is nothing in today's economy. Maybe in 1987 that was significant, but now it does not mean shit.
You should really think about it.
Sorry, nothing to think about. That's not for me. But thanks for the drink. I need to go.
In Bloodsport, which this film has been ripping off since the very start, it was considered a great honor to be allowed to participate in Kumite. And now you have people refusing the invitation. That diminishes the entire event.
This is my private seminar. If you change your mind, you're going to leave with my private jet tomorrow, and I will leave a seat for you. Okay?
Thanks for the offer. I need to go home.
And now.
Obviously stage stop with an NYPD squad car for no reason at all. Could you stop worshipping pigs? This film is already descending to contemptible status. You're making it worse. And now we find his daughter has been forcibly taken. It really takes your prestigious Kumite down quite a few pegs when you have to extort people to participate. This film has already spent an ample amount of time sucking pig dick. But as he calls them when he finds his daughter kidnapped, was more than ample evidence of who did it? No. Okay, that was a cool shot. If they were going to turn his refusal into an acceptance in less than 2 minutes, you could have cut that entirely out as a film. Incompetent writing, or trying to do martial arts kid again where they just cram shit in that doesn't matter. I'd say both. 15 minutes into the film, and we leave what was supposed to be New York, never to see it again, rendering that opening montage pointless. He's not under any sort of restraint. He could be taking photos and documenting evidence of where he's being taken. The NYPD has no jurisdiction, but Interpol does. Gather evidence, dumbass!
Hey, what's going on here?
You tell us. Because I'm not telling you shit.
Being an asshole to someone who's on your side is a really stupid move. Oh look, it's a token girl! This must be the 90s! There was always a token girl in the 90s! Check off your cliché checklists.
It's such an honor to see so many champions in one place. All of you have been selected to participate in the Kumite. Many of you jumped at the opportunity to be part of the most exclusive fighting tournament the world has ever seen. And some of you need a little persuasion.
I assume they demanded larger paychecks in exchange for the embarrassment of being in this film?
I'm tired. And I don't care about you stupid Kumite. I'm on my life path. Return her now, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off! Oh, wait!
that was a stupid mistake. And I do not mean those characters' protests. I mean shooting for that extreme, and in this case literally right from the start. Any filmmaker who knows what they're doing knows you start small and gradually escalate the stakes. You have already topped off, you've hit the ceiling, there's nowhere to go from there but down.
Well, you know what, they wouldn't have made it past the preliminaries. They were lower class fighters.
So why did you waste your time extorting them into participating?
And why I am the only female here?
I already said it. You're a cliche 90s token girl. I see a black man with dreadlocks behind her. Could he be a token capoeira fighter? They're as cliche as a girl. Hey, he looks familiar too. He was in No Retreat, No Surrender. He fought Van Damme just like Mikhail Kisi did. So why is Jean-Claude Van Damme not in this obvious homage to him? He must be high in cocaine.
All of you can keep their cell phones, but you can't access the internet. Local calls only. There's a driver if you need to go into town to get supplies. But don't bother to go to the police because they're working for me.
That's a lot of freedom to people you're criminally extorting.
This is Draco. My chin.
Drago? As in Drago? Ivan Drago? You're going to throw in some Rocky Forward as this Van Damme wank-off?
I kill you.
I hear you. Thank you, that was totally unnecessary.
Has anyone ever come close to beating Draco?
No. There's one man I believe knows how.
Oh.
His name is Lauren. He knows how Draco fights.
And he's been left alive? After two men have been murdered just for copying a bit of an attitude? You see what I mean? You're de-escalating the stakes. You can't do that. Even a film school freshman knows better than that.
Hey, what was that shooting noise?
That was two guys being shot. What the fuck else would it be? Mr. No Retreat, No Surrender requests a ride into town on false pretenses, and they just let him out of their sight? What stupidity is this? Then he goes to the police station. Can't say I'm surprised. Multiple reviews of this film have chastised this scene for him going to the police after being blatantly told the police can do nothing to help him. That's in on the entire thing. Well, I can tell you why they did it for a couple of reasons. One, to rip off a scene in Bloodsport that indicates that even the authorities are in on the Kumite. And secondly, to call Holt's bluff. Just because he said the police can't do anything doesn't mean it's true. Why would you trust him? Wait, is that Attila? From Lionheart? Another adversary of Van Damme and Mikhail Kisi's real-life brother? Wow, he got skinny and Tom Poe got fat. Half the people in this film are people who have fought Van Damme. Isn't that amazing, Jean-Claude?
No!
Your reputation holds true. You really are a dick. Anyway, we end up learning the police are truly powerless in this town. Quite a change of pace after sucking off the NYPD in the beginning. It just occurred to me that Attila was portrayed as this hulking beast in Lionheart. But now seeing him standing next to Mikhail Kisi, it seems to be actually smaller than Mikhail. Really has testimony to how tiny Van Damme actually is. Oh no. A hero is going to be trained by a janitor? He's not getting the Miyagi treatment. He's getting the knockoff Miyagi treatment. This is straight out of that 90s Karate Kid ripoff Showdown. It's the exact same guy playing Dollar Store Miyagi, Billy Blanks. If you're going to do a shameless imitation of an age gone by, choose a fucking decade.
So what you think?
Draco has a lot of weakness. To get to those weaknesses, you're going to take barrages of punishment.
We are a third of the way into the film now, and we start this ridiculously long, completely unnecessary training sequence for a man who is already a champion, and by giving him the most lame, shallow training advice ever.
To increase your speed, meet lightning. Right? Yes, you'll find out why.
Who's that guy? He's not the Kumite.
Now you see why he's called lightning. Remember, the fastest distance between 2 points straight line. You gotta get off that straight line and then come back as thunder.
What the fuck does that even mean? Isn't that Viking samurai? One of the most ardent Van Damme worshippers in the world? Jean-Claude, does this mean I expect to see you to show up in this after all?
Not on your life.
I'm actually starting to not blame you for that.
I was just telling you, if we get matched up, I'm not gonna hold back.
A line stolen directly from Bloodsport 2. Does this film have some standards in the shit that it's stealing from?
Ron Hall approached me and I jumped at the opportunity. $1 million.
Oh, so there were people who actually volunteered to participate in the Kumite. If Hall had just focused on people like that, he would never have had to waste all the time and effort of extorting all these other people to hold his event. This extortion is a needless plot complication for what could have been straightforward. Speaking of which, did you notice that Mr. No Retreat, No Surrender went to the cops in direct violation of what Mr. Hall said, and he was not killed? This is what I said about de-escalation. You can't kill someone right at the start and then just shout some mercy after that. Even film school freshmen know better than this. Where is Billy Blanks getting these guys?
Stay off the center line. Take an angle.
He's an accomplished champion. He already knew that.
Because the stones are probably hurt.
Hello, shameless Bloodsport ripoff. Then Draco shows up just to show off how cool he is for 2 seconds and what the hell? Moving on.
I tried to go to the cops when we first got here.
Really? What happened?
They're either too corrupt or too scared to do anything about it.
So they're either corrupt or they're cowards. Way to muddy the message from the beginning.
Tried to buy a gun. Just gonna wait for Ron Hall to show up and shoot him.
That guy right there is listening to everything they're saying, and he's not reporting any of it? They're sowing the seeds of rebellion. Oh, he just did.
But you may or may not have figured out by now you're my investment. You know, my most lucrative investment.
But now Hall is calling them investments when he killed the other 2 guys without hesitation. What a crock.
So you're watching and listening to us now?
He has been from the very beginning, dumbass. Hey, that's straight out of Kickboxer. Now we see why they wedged a needlessly long training sequence for someone who does not need it into the film. So 12-year-old directing this is one of a nostalgic wank-off.
Draco is pumped full of steroids. They hired a physician from the Soviet Union.
Soviet Union. The Soviet Union dissolved decades ago. Is your writer actually so mentally ill that he thinks we're in 1992?
Draco has weaknesses. Every man has a weakness. We're gonna have to get through those weaknesses by you training and understanding footwork, distance, and knowledge and wisdom, and you staying calm.
This is completely redundant and absolutely pointless. This guy is already a champion. He knows all of this already.
Michael.
The very same composers of Bloodsport and Kickboxer were hired back to score this film. No surprise there. But say it's called it a nostalgic nod to Bloodsport and Kickboxer. It's not a nostalgic nod when it sounds exactly the same. We are now fully into Rocky IV territory. It's a parallel training montages of good guy and bad guy, conveniently named Draco. All this is doing is reminding me how much better the originals were compared to this shit. No, not since you're Rossrock. It truly is martial arts kid again. Don't tell me Don Wilson shows up next.
I can help you beat Draco. If he can be beat.
You've been spending this entire sequence telling him how to do exactly that. This film backtracks on everything. I'm noticing this film has been going on a ridiculously long amount of time, and the Kumite hasn't even started. We're literally at the halfway point.
He's been going at it for a while. Should I have him take a break?
No, he needs to go beyond
Beyond what?
everything.
When he's done training, send him home.
Ugh. You should sue whoever did your plastic surgery, Cynthia, and you still cannot act. Oh, now I see where she spent her surgery money. Wow. Can those get any bigger? How are you even standing upright? Have you considered at all that since there is a vicious Kumite starting at, I assume, some point in the film, that beating the living shit out of him immediately beforehand is a bad strategy?
You think that was hard? Well, Draco's gonna hit you a lot harder. In fact, I've seen it so many times, he's gonna knock you out and you're gonna want to give up.
The scriptwriter gave up when he wrote that line. Stick to the camera. It's the only thing you're good at.
Let's just let our families go. No, not yet. I'll keep the bar and shoes where they are. Where your loved ones go from here, it's entirely up to you.
He's right. You don't need to keep him any longer. Just let him go.
This isn't a match you can stand on. Remember what happened to those two fighters? I don't even know what their names were.
Then why go to all the effort of kidnapping their wives? That was an investment going completely to waste. Oh look, it's Bolo Jr., Chong Li's son. For half a second, why'd you do that? There's that obligatory capoeira. Check it as a box off the cliché checklist. I think I get it now. The director cares more about showing off how cool his shots are than actually making a worthwhile film. It's a classic Bruce Lee push-up, done by the son of a man who actually opposed both Bruce Lee and Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's a sort of week I don't actually mind. Wearing a stupid headband while doing Miyagi-Do only makes you look stupid. I should mention it was stated a bit earlier in the film that the Kumite was going to start in 2 days from the present moment. And you know what you don't do 2 days before starting a tournament? Completely wear yourself out. This is pure stupidity. And now the titular Kumite begins. 60% of the way into the film.
Is this a Kumite going on?
No, it's a Wriggling Brothers circus. How stupid are you?
The winner of the Kumite Championship will not only become the Kumite champion, he will get
$1 million!
See? Even in the 90s, that was a laughable amount. I should mention that Showdown film that they stole Billy Blanks from also starred Ken Scott, best known for playing Raphael. So this is a pretty obvious nod to him right here. Except you did it completely backwards. Raphael had a red mask and a green head, not the other way around.
And the man of the hour, the man that needs no introduction. Our fighter, the champion, Draco!
I've already forgotten the amount of times I've said this film does everything wrong. You do not start a tournament with a match against the champion. You have nowhere to build up to from there. You can only go backwards. Again. Now I know beyond all doubt that the director is in fact a 12-year-old, because only a middle schooler would find that funny. Is that all he does? And they just did it again. They fucked up and topped off the stakes right at the start. You can't kill a guy right at the start. You have nowhere to go from there again. Even that's a step down from killing a man. Did he get that at a Halloween candy store? See? They just lowered the bar even further. All he did there was spit out some Gatorade. This is as basic as it gets. You're doing it all backwards. Hi, Capoeira guy versus Chong Li Jr. Oh, you're clicking off multiple boxes on this one. Wow. That was wow-worthy? All he did was this. You did not just flip the script of Ray Jackson versus Chong Li. That is so cheap. The sound was out of sync on that victory dance. And Michael finally has his first fight, and they start by ripping off the Paco duel from Bloodsport.
What a great start today! Do you want the Kumite to continue tomorrow?
No! And now they're doing the Chong Li on the bus scene. Ugh. At this point, I'm actually convinced that Draco has had a giant wad of phlegm deeply lodged in his throat the entire film. He's been trying to hawk it up the entire time. Fuck you! You do realize you're saying that to yourself, right? He's likely chastising himself for agreeing to do the film. Oh, spoiler by the way, he never actually fights Draco, so this is completely pointless. Case in point, he says fuck the Kumite and decides to team up with the token girl to liberate the hostages during the fights the next day. With some actual authentic drunken kung fu. Nice to see them do something new for once. Draco! Seriously, stop doing that, it's getting old. Stop doing that does not mean do it more. I should have expected to see at least one obligatory Van Damme helicopter kick, which fell on its face as literally as it did proverbially. And right here is where I stopped taking him seriously as a villain. Wait, what am I saying? I never took him seriously. Enough of this shit. What's the main cast up to? Oh, so crowbarring another cliche from the checklist once I have no reason to do so. It's the obligatory handicaps a hero has when they fight the main villain. Blinding powder in Bloodsport, a broken rib in Lionheart, and now this. An inflicted injury on extremity given by Tong Po when there was no reason to do this. At least in Bloodsport and Lionheart, that had a point in the story. This does not. Speaking of Lionheart, hello again, Attila. Oh, look at that! An undercover agent infiltrating a martial arts tournament. So cramming that cliche in with 20 minutes left in the film. At this point, they're just deliberately trying to finish the checklist off as quickly as they can. As the final match gets underway, Mr. Bruce Lee Freak and Token Girl makes their move to rescue the hostages, prompting a battle against Jason of No Retreat, No Surrender versus Tong Po of Kickboxer. First, they were both adversaries of Van Damme, now they're adversaries of each other. This is transparent pandering fan service as Johnny Lawrence versus Terry Silver in Cobra Kai. Once again, 12-year-olds at work. Back at Kumite, you might notice that handicap of Michael's is having no effect. This fight is going the same as every other before it. There was no reason to include that. Oh, they managed to liberate the hostages and... Miguel Kisi, don't try to imitate Draco. You're embarrassing yourself. They arrived just in time for the cliche pep talk as the hero is down and... He knows there's no rules, right, Draco? You're allowed to attack him while he's down. Go stomp his head into goo while he's distracted. Now is a cliche moment where the hero changes his strategy to overcome his opponent and... What the fuck is he doing? You're supposed to adopt a more effective strategy, not a less effective one. Posing and straining like you're taking a massive shit goes against every principle of effective martial arts. again, anything to make Cynthia jump up and down like that, I'm all for. Wow. And now, because they had to wedge this cliche in, the Kumite gets raided, prompting one last duel between two guys who are clearly too old for this shit. Finally, because it was not funny the first time, we do this middle school shit again. Although, and the excuse to look at Cynthia from that angle is a good one. Was that? Yeah, close enough. It's over. I must say I have nothing against cliches in and of themselves, because things become cliche by being used again and again. They're used again and again because they work. So if something works, by all means use it. What you don't do is deliberately cram in as many cliches as you possibly can. Martial arts kid is worse, but this is still terrible. Just like Blue Belt, where you had a gaffer who didn't know to stay in his own lane, here you have a DP making the same mistake. A camera operator, incapable of writing or directing, who desperately needs to learn that yesteryear did not possess Golden Glow. Your inner 12-year-old still loving things from your younger years does not give it good reason to be put in the driver's seat when doing a serious production. The things of his day belongs there in the past. As does this film, as I'm now going to do everything I possibly can to forget about it. Au revoir.